This is the KRMG Afternoon News with Skylar Cooper.
Go ahead, give it to me.
Time for the BA Breakdown here on the KRMG Afternoon News. And after a week away, we welcome back Broken Arrow City Manager Michael Spurgeon. Hello, sir.
Skylar, how you doing? I just want to start off by expressing my appreciation for that breaking news you helped us with last week on some economic development initiatives and projects that are happening in the city.
Oh, that was cool that Jennifer Rush did break some news during this segment, telling us some new stores coming to town. And she told us all about the movie that's being filmed, which I understand that incentive package was passed last night. So I guess filming underway already?
Actually, they haven't started yet. The council did approve the incentive that you mentioned, and I think they're going to get started very soon. So it is exciting, and we hope that's the first of many of actually movie companies coming and actually filming in Broken Arrow, because it creates so many economic development. It also continues to put us on the map as a place to be.
Well, I watched the special meeting from 5 o'clock yesterday on the manual of fees, the fees that the city charges for various services. And so definitely was watching the utility rate discussion portion of that. I want to start by asking you if it's true that you have a swear jar of sorts where if employees call the utility bill the water bill, they have to add $1.
I think that was just more metaphorically about we're trying to transition, and Aaron and I have been trying to come up with an idea to do a big announcement that our water bill is not the really water, it's the utility bill, because a lot of folks think that the bill just has water on there, but there are actually 6 different services that we provide that are on the utility bill. And so it's kind of one of those, this little joke. It's not the water bill, it's utility bill.
So they talked about, and we heard from Emily Rowland on that. She went over comparisons to other cities around Tulsa, comparisons around the state, to similar sized cities, and comparing rates and everything. But she said that the average family of 4, if this proposal goes through, would see their utility bill go up by about 10%. How does that compare with what we heard back before the budget was discussed and everybody was worried about that third-party proposal? How does that compare?
Well, actually, when you look at the fact that there are 6 services that we provide, 4 of those services, there's a rate change being proposed, which includes water, sewer, stormwater, and your trash collection or sanitation and recycling. Is all 4 of those are up for an adjustment based on the recommendation from our consultant, Black Beach. And each one of those has a various change. And the overall increase that if council approves this in August would be 9.7%. And so nothing has really changed from what was discussed about a month or 2 months ago. It's just that when you look at the fact that it's more than just one service, it's 4 services, and each one of them has a slight change in dollar amounts. If you look at the average user, you could be looking anywhere from $10 to $14 when you break it all down to the proposed increases for each of those.
Talking with Broken Arrow City Manager Michael Spurgeon here on the BA Breakdown. So I've lived in Broken Arrow a couple times throughout my life, but I bought my house there in 2018, and I've consistently seen my bill go up. I even saw your assistant city manager showing his personal bill in the meeting last night and comparing what it would be if the new rates were in place. Do you get calls from people? Are they frustrated that this tends to happen pretty regularly, the increase in rates?
Yes, we do. I mean, honestly, folks, even though we do a great deal, and I'm very proud of the public education we do in terms of why we need those increases, there are comments on social media. We do get communications with folks that express their concerns that may not understand, and what we tried to explain to them to be very consistent is that we're not like a private entity or other utilities, is that we don't make any profit. All we're doing is adjusting the rates to make sure that we have enough revenue to pay for the expenditures that is necessary to pay for the operations. And so there will be a letter that will go out in the utility bills from me that will explain why we need this. I mean, just like any other business and every household, the cost to do business, the cost to live has gone up, and cities are not immune to that. And so the cost of personnel, the cost of actually day-to-day operations, the cost of projects, all those things have increased significantly. And so we need to adjust those rates temporarily, even though we don't really like to make sure that we have the revenue needed to provide the great services our citizens have come to expect.
You said temporarily. Is it possible we'll ever see a rate decrease?
I would not rule that out because, I mean, obviously we did not have an increase during the COVID We basically didn't have the one that year because it was such a challenging year. And like I said, we look at every year. Our goal is to get our each utility to where it pays for itself, because right now the water continues to pay for additional revenue needed for the others. And so what I can say this is that we look at it every single year, and we make sure that we have exactly what we need to be able to pay for those services. Our citizens get great service. To do that, you have to have a certain number of employees. You have to pay those people well. Otherwise somebody else will pay them. And you look at the quality of our services. You look at the quality of the employees that work for us and their responsiveness. There's a cost to that. You got to factor that in. And then everything else has gone up. I mean, I could go on and you watch the meeting. So, I mean, for example, trash, the disposal of trash has gone up 97% just in the last few years because we no longer have the waste energy plant. And just day to day, the cost of dirt, the cost of aggregate to build roads and to basically fill in where we do work has gone off the chart. And so these are all things that I don't have an unlimited ATM, but we look at it every single year and say, if we need to adjust this, what's the justification? And so we'll continue to keep our rates as low as we can, because we know not everybody has the ability to pay all the times. But like I said, we're very conscious of our rates.
Talking with Broken Arrow City Manager Michael Spurgeon. So we'll see a result on this next month?
I believe the council is going to consider adopting the rates at the first meeting in August. And if they do that, then that'll give me time to actually send out the letter in all the utility bills and meet every cycle. So everyone will get a notice before they go into effect sometime in late October, early November.
Something else I saw from yesterday really caught my interest because I'd never heard of this before, and that was approval for funding from the city council to the fire department to remount ambulance bodies, where they, I guess, take the box part of the ambulance off the whole, top of the truck and put it on a new chassis for about half the cost of buying a new ambulance. Is that a practice that Broken Arrow's done before?
Yes, we actually started that. So just to let everybody know, here's an example. When I got here about 10 years ago, the cost of an ambulance was around $200,000. Today, an ambulance is around $350,000, and you need a 24 to 36 month lead time in order to receive that ambulance. And so Chief Moore, who brought this recommendation to me, I would say probably 26 or 2017, was actually doing the refurbishing to where we take the ambulance box itself and we put it on a new chassis and cab, and we save about $150,000. So last night, council approved $550,000 to refurbish 2 ambulances. And I just mentioned 2 brand new ambulances would be $700,000. So that's the kind of things we look at every single year to save money. And the remounting only takes about 5 to 7 months. And so the lead time needed to do the remounting versus a brand new ambulance, all those things got to be factored in. And so we're going to continue to buy new ambulances when necessary. But if there's an opportunity to remount, that's something we're going to consider, because we continue to provide great service with that vehicle, and we're able to do it at a less cost to the customers.
Broken Arrow City Manager Michael Spurgeon. It's been the BA Breakdown, and we're out of time for the day, but we'll talk to you again next week. Thank you.
Thank you, Skylar. Take care.